Hey everybody, Chris here, Griffin and Partners, Keller and Williams. Next episode for you, we're going to be talking about insurance today. So I've got my good friend Ron Steffens here with Steffens Insurance with AAA. So Ron actually has one of the top producing AAA offices in the state, if I'm correct, Ron. Is that right?
Correct.
Rock on. Ron, how long have you been doing insurance for?
I've been in the business for 22 years and own my own agency in Macomb for 12.
So this is the guy you want to talk to for insurance. So I currently have all my policies through Ron. He does a great job. But anyway, what we want to talk about, I think there's a real big disconnect out there with occupancy. You know, when you're buying a house and you close on it and then the seller is staying in the property from the time that you close to whenever you get possession of the house. There's usually a 30 to 60 day period that we've run into. So I wanted to talk to Ron about what that does from an insurance perspective and what a buyer and the previous seller should do and how they should be talking to their agent to make sure they're properly covered. So Ron, I'll kind of let you have the floor and take it away.
The new owner is going to definitely have a policy secured on if they have a mortgage that's going to be needed for closing, as you know.
Yep.
And if there is a period of time that the previous owner occupies the home, you got to remember that the home is covered under the new owner. So the people residing in it for 30, 60, 90 days, whatever it is, need to make sure that their contents, their personal belongings, are covered one way or another. That could be done with an extension from maybe another homeowner's policy that they purchase on their next move, or temporarily purchasing renter's insurance because they're no longer the owner of that property.
Really cool, really cool. Okay, so basically to get that contents covered, we want to do a possible renter's policy for a month or two, or just maybe wrap it into some other type of insurance for the old seller. So not the new owner of the house, the seller that is living in the home in an occupancy period where the buyer has purchased the home already and closed. That is the period we're talking about. Very cool. Well, Ron, tell me, why is homeowners insurance important? Why is that something that people should have?
Well, I mean, it's your most important asset and your belongings in it. Right. So homeowners insurance covers damage to the property itself, in addition the contents in it. And other than life insurance, it's probably the most important policy that we buy.
Okay.
Because for most of us, that's our most important and biggest asset that we own.
And do you recommend, like, I know there's certain different types of insurances one can get, right? I know there's I think sewer line coverage is a newer one, right? Isn't that one that's been within the past 5 years maybe? That's because sewer lines are a big expense. I mean, those can be more expensive than a roof in a lot of cases that people don't even realize. So talk to me about that. Is that a policy that people can get?
Yes, sewer lines, service lines in general is a newer coverage. And that would cover the lines that service the home from the street to the home.
Okay.
And that's going to be your water line, your septic, electrical lines, that if something was to somehow get broke in that space, that the insurance company would pick it up. Otherwise, that typically is not something that would be covered.
Now, let me ask you, is that something that obviously we always recommend our clients get sewer scopes when they buy a home, but let's say they didn't get one inspected. Let's say they bought a home and they didn't check their sewer and there was a problem and they did have this sewer line coverage. Is that going to be looked at when they didn't get the inspection?
Well, let's say they didn't purchase service line coverage. The damage caused by that backup, typically something a good agent would offer. Sump pump and sewer backup coverage would be for damage from the bad water or water that enters your home through the drain.
Got it.
Whether it's a backup or just a sump pump failure. And if you have a finished basement, that's a no-brainer that an agent should definitely put some coverage on. And also check with your agent that not only the building is covered, but also your contents in the basement for that type of deal.
Okay. And building on that, how do you know if you're talking to a good insurance agent? Because I know there's a lot of insurance, just like realtors, lenders. I mean, there's a lot of people in these professions. So how do you know if you're talking to someone that is really good? I mean, what does the public need to look for?
I recommend talk to someone that listens.
Okay.
Asks lots of questions.
Okay.
And builds on, the details of the home as opposed to just assuming that what you want to purchase is what they're recommending. I like to If they have existing homeowners, I like to look at the policy, kind of assess what they have currently, but on a new purchase, you really got to ask the questions about the home itself.
Right.
You know, do you have a finished basement? What kind of upgrades do you have in the home? Do you have any sort of backup system for your sump pump?
Mm-hmm.
Asking those questions and listening to the client uncovers the needs that most, agents that aren't asking all the details sometimes miss, and in turn don't sell the right coverages.
Got it. Okay. And Ron, let me ask you, is there anything else you want to touch on with insurance? Anything that you think the public should know that they don't maybe know, and this general knowledge that isn't there?
The most undersold thing that we do is probably life insurance.
Okay.
And it's ironic because, as you know, and most of us know, that we're required to insure our car. We're required by the bank to insure our home.
Mm-hmm.
But life insurance is one of those things that we have to plan for it. It's just how to do it.
Right.
And that's something, though, that when it comes to home insurance, they kind of go hand in hand. By having a mortgage, you want to make sure that mortgage is protected with the life insurance policy.
Sure.
And the reason why is if your spouse or even your heirs are unable to make that house payment, that you're going to leave them a deed and not a debt.
Got it.
So covering yourself with at least the loan amount will ensure that your family gets to stay in the home and not have to, work out uncomfortable situations.
Sure. Very cool. Well, Ron, what is a good number for you in case any of our audience wants to get a hold of you regarding insurance?
You can call me anytime at 586-741-8020.
Rock on. All right. Well, everybody, I hope you have a great week. Thanks for joining in again. Next week, we're going to be having one of our builders on. They're going to be talking about a lot of stuff regarding building. So I will get more detailed on that later. But thanks so much. Have an awesome week.